Hello and welcome. Today I want to talk about if I apply. So if we go to our library website and let's go to library guides, we're going to just go to the COM 114 because I know they have if I apply. And let's look at this concept real quick. So if I apply is a source evaluation tool that we can use in order to find the best sources available. One of the issues that we can have in the past we used to use the CRAP test, that ends up not being as accurate because it doesn't take into account your personal biases. This takes into account any personal biases that you might have when evaluating a resource. So as it says at the very top, often we seek information that confirms our own thoughts and feelings towards a topic. Research and learning comes from finding sources that speak to the truth of a topic, even if it's uncomfortable. So let's look at these steps. The first three are personal steps. Identify emotion attached to a topic. You might be pro-life or pro-choice. You might be pro-gun or anti-gun, pro-capitalism, anti-capitalism. All of those things are fine. What we really want to look at is, what are our personal feelings towards a topic. The second part would be to find unbiased reference sources for proper review of the topic. So in that, we're not going to look to the NRA for gun control information. We're not going to go to the Catholic Church for pro-choice information. We know that those have biases. So we want to find unbiased material. Finally, have the intellectual courage to seek authoritative voices on a topic. So look to the experts. You can't be an expert on everything. So when we are looking for those experts in the field, let's make sure that they're experts and that we listen to what they have to say. Finally, our source steps. Authority established. Does the author have education and experience in that field? Just because somebody has a PhD, that does not mean that they are an expert in the field. For example, if you have somebody with a PhD in Russian literature, they should not be giving advice on medical care. That's kind of common sense, but keep that in mind. Just because somebody is Dr. So-and-so does not make them an expert. Purpose or point of view of the source. So does the author have an agenda beyond education or information? In other words, are they looking to sell books? If so, that's fine, but you need to be aware of it. You need to make sure that you understand that their bias can sway the information that they're publishing. The publisher. Does the publisher have an agenda? Well, look at the publisher, come to a conclusion. Is that, Purdue University Press has a different mission than Simon & Schuster. One is to make money, one is to put out academic information. So keep that in mind. List of sources. So, having a bibliography. Is that evidence sound? Just because you're citing your sources doesn't necessarily mean that those sources are good sources. You can write an entire paper and cite your sources using nothing but the Ancient Aliens guy. I'm sure he's a nice guy, but you probably don't want to be citing him in your papers. And finally, year of publication. Does the year of publication affect the information? A couple examples of this, you may not want to use articles in a medical journal that were written before the advent of antibiotics. Time has moved on. Also, over time, perspectives on things change. If you look in the 1950s, 60s, and 70s, with the Interstate Highway Acts, they were thought to be a modern marvel and would propel our country into, the future, and they did. However, when we look at it now, years later, we see that it made us more dependent on automobiles, which makes us more dependent on oil, which gives us less public transportation, creates a homogenization of America. Those type of things A lot of those highways cut through minority neighborhoods. So keep in mind that the Earth publication can affect that information that you're using.